Games are serious business these days, and that's why companies like PopCap, perhaps best known for the game Bejeweled, command such huge price tags. About a week ago, after much speculation that PopCap would go public, many were surprised to learn that Electronic Arts was buying the company for up to $1.3 billion. Well, last week, EA's CEO John Riccitiello came on BTV to discuss his company's largest purchase in the online game space.
PopCap is probably one of the best assets, the best game companies that exist on the planet today. Certainly in this space, they're number one. So they're a fabulous company. And we saw eye to eye with management about what's important.
All right, so what does PopCap think about the purchase? Well, for that, we're going to go straight to the source. Dave Roberts is the CEO of PopCap, and he is joining me live now from Seattle. Welcome, Dave. Pleasure to have you. High praise there coming from Rick. But let me get your perspective on this. A lot of people were speculating about a potential IPO there, and you've made some interesting comments as it relates to your decision to go with Electronic Arts. There was one from the Wall Street Journal that I found that I thought was quite interesting. You said, I wouldn't want to be the CEO of LinkedIn because they've got to grow into their valuation. And when I was looking this morning, LinkedIn was the best performing IPO of this year. Up, I think it was 166%, something like that. It is a lot to live up to, but why not take the money and run, so to speak?
Well, you know, it's IPO is the start of the race, not the end of the race, and so that's, you know, that was in the context of LinkedIn. Look, LinkedIn's a great company; they got a great valuation, but it's just going to be, you know, they have a lot to grow into, as I said, and I think that's going to be tough for them. You know, the IPO, the public markets sort of look at it and go, "Wow, that was a great IPO," but at the end of the day, it's the long term that matters, and so that's really why you know, why you have to look at the long term and then really just at the start.
So, while we're on the topic of long term, tell me how the partnership with Electronic Arts is going to help you. Where do you want to grow that you couldn't have grown into if you just stayed alone?
Well, I mean, we've been partners with Electronic Arts for years on a number of different fronts, but this is obviously a deeper one, and they really do a lot of things well that we don't do or that we're just starting to learn how to do, and whether that's, you know, managing literally hundreds of handsets over, you know, dozens of geographies, or helping with infrastructure stuff that you know, we are learning how to do, but as a company of 500 people, we're sort of not nearly as well equipped as a company of 8,000 to deal with the kinds of things they do. Plus, they've got a consumer reach that you know, we are starting to get, but again, they're very good at that stuff, and it's really going to be a great partnership, and we're looking forward to it.
What consumer reach is that exactly? When you talk about the consumer reach, is that in terms of where the games are played or who plays them?
Well, I mean, they've got several different initiatives. So, you know, their Facebook presence is quite formidable already, and we'll, you know, join forces with them. We're a much stronger number two in the Facebook side. Their mobile audience is huge. They have the largest iPhone audience in the world. You know, they've got more than 100 million subscribers in their Origin system. So they've basically got a lot of people they can talk to, and, you know, a lot of people who love games. Now, we reach a different audience because we do reach sort of everybody. You know, your mom, your cousin, your sister, and so I think we'll help broaden their reach with products that have a bigger offering or a broader offering. But they can certainly help us get there, and that was one of the big reasons for the partnership.
I was looking at your numbers for 2005 compared to 2010, and desktop, mobile, online, console. We just had this grid up that really showed, I thought it was interesting, that your mobile percentage stayed about the same. That was a surprise to me. I mean, with the popularity of the iPad and the iPhone now, I would have expected that number to climb. Is that a wrong expectation, or is that a number that you're looking to see make up a greater percentage of your games?
I don't know that we're looking for it to be a greater proportion of our games. We've been in the mobile business for 10 years, so we're sort of the old hats at this. And what you've seen over the last few years is the emergence of the iPhone, but it really replaced the Java Brew business, the so-called feature phone business, that we've been, you know, on the top of those lists for quite a long time with Bejeweled and some of our other games. And so what you've seen is a substitution of smartphone games for feature phone games, but the absolute dollars have been growing tremendously, and so we've seen, you know, both an absolute dollar change, but you know, it's probably been most of our life. It's been about a third of our business has been mobile, and we kind of like it there. It keeps the diversity about right for us.
Let me ask you about the competition, Rovio and Zynga. What sets you apart from those two companies?
Look, they're both very good companies in their own way. We sort of have different philosophies about how we do stuff. We're much more of a multi-platform play. So you can play Bejeweled or Plants vs. Zombies or Zuma on almost any platform that you could play a game on, and that's part of what we want to do. And not only that, you'll see that we have leadership positions across all those platforms. And so Rovio has done an amazing job with a single game, right? And Angry Birds is an amazing sort of juggernaut on the iPhone, but and on Android. But we haven't seen it do much else anywhere else. And they will do that. They'll work on it. Zynga, on the other hand, is a platform play. They've done a great job running Facebook. They're trying to make inroads into the iPhone side, but they don't have nearly the presence there. And to the extent they do, it's with different brands than they're winning with Facebook on. So those are the kinds of things that do set us apart. I'm not sure there's a right or wrong. We like the diversity of platforms. We think that players should be able to play wherever they can.